Okay, let's talk about those problems where you have to multiply money. Decimals with a lot of zeros in them. Those get very confusing. Here is an example, right? And we're going to start off with you, trying to understand the problem. Simon buys 4/10 pounds of apples. Apples cost 50 cents per pound. How much did he pay in total? All right, so let's go back and start hunting for numbers here. I see 50 cents, that's the number. I see per pound, I know that means 1 pound. And there's 4/10 pounds. Now that seems kind of weird. Is that a number? Well, 4/10 pounds. 4/10 is a fraction. It's just a fraction. Yeah, it's a number. It's just not a whole pound. It's less than a whole pound, right? It's a fraction. So those are all the numbers I see, and let's look for the question. I don't see a question mark here, so what are some other clues? There's the word how. That's a question word, so how, that must tell me, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How much did he pay in total? And let's get the question mark on there. All right, so what I'm going to say is that I'm going to take the 50 cents, and I know when I see 50 cents per pound that is a ratio. 50 cents for 1 pound. That's a ratio I know because it's written right there in front of me. That's a giveaway. When you see something per pound or that word number per something, you know that's a ratio. So there you go. There's the I know. So let me see. That must mean there's an I wonder. I think I can make a proportion out of this. I wonder, and I'm looking at the question here. Looks like I wonder how much money, right? So I'm going to say money goes on top. Right? They want to be across from each other. And that means the pounds should be on the bottom. And where's my other pounds? There they are. 4/10 pounds. So I wonder how much will he pay for 4/10 pounds? I think we found a proportion here. Now we just need a plan for how to solve it. Let's find a P here. So I'm wondering, how do I turn 1 into 4/10? How does this happen? I don't know, maybe I should multiply. If I do something like 1 times 1, or 1 plus 1 plus 1, let's say 1 times 3, well, that's going to make the number bigger. That doesn't make 4/10. Okay, well, now I'm confused because I know if I multiply, the numbers are probably going to get bigger, but I want it to get smaller, so maybe that means I should divide. Now is when I'm in trouble. All right, please pay close attention. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm just going to quickly set up our problem again. And we're going to figure out how to tell whether I should multiply or divide here and what to multiply by. All right, here we go. The plan is going to go something like this. Think about multiplication like so. What if I had bricks and these bricks weighed 1 pound each, right? There's 1, 2, 3, and they weigh 1 pound each. I could probably find the total through multiplication, right? That's 3 groups of 1 pound. Obviously, that equals 3 pounds. So let's look for a pattern. What if there were only 2? Well, that would be 2 groups of 1 pound. That equals 2 pounds. What if I just had 1 group of 1 pound or 1 brick? That would be 1 pound. So far multiplication has been working really well for us. But I don't want a whole pound. I just want 4/10 of a pound. So let me cut this up into tenths. And I'll erase a big chunk of it so that we have just 4/10 left. Okay. So what does that make? Well, that's 4/10 of 1 pound, and that would equal 4/10. You probably noticed that anytime you multiply a number times 1, it comes out to be itself, even if it's a fraction, even if it's a decimal fraction. 4/10 times 1 equals 4/10. So that gives us a really powerful tool here. 1 is a magic number in that anytime I want to figure out a product or an answer that has a 1 as one of its factors, I'm just going to use that number from the answer to be my other factor. And it's kind of confusing the way I said it, but basically if you want 1 to turn into 4/10, you've got to multiply it by 4/10. Just multiply it by itself. Okay, I think we're getting a plan here, right? So if I multiply the bottom by 4/10, I need to multiply the top by 4/10 also. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There is our plan. All right, remember, when you're multiplying something by 1, you can always find the missing factor. You can always find your factor. Okay, let's build this thing again. Sorry, be patient with me while I rewrite this. I'll write as fast as I can. Okay, so we learned that we're going to multiply these things by 4/10. All right, so now that's my plan. I better just set it up. Okay, here we go. Let's do the multiplication. I got 4 times 0 is 0. I got 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to carry the 2. And there I go. Okay, now this is what gets a little confusing. When you have this extra 0 here, you can use it if you want. Let's go ahead and try it. Remember, now I'm multiplying by the second number, so I need to start with a 0 in the tens place. And 0 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 5 is 0, and 0 times 2 is 0. So it didn't really change anything. But it's fine, right? It's fine. We can cause that multiplication to happen. All right, now let's add them up. Okay, we get 0, 0, 0. It looks like my answer is 200. I'm sorry you can't see that it's off the screen, but there it is. The answer is 200. I am psyched. That was a long problem, but hey, wait a minute. $200 for 4/10 of a pound? That doesn't make sense. Wow, I think I must have had the decimal in the wrong place. It's a good thing I checked, right? Check your work. It's always important to see that your answer actually makes sense. So I'll just bring the decimal down here, and it looks like it's right there. It goes right there. $2 for 4/10 of a pound. There, good thing I checked. All right, but hey, wait a minute. I still think this is wrong. Look at this. If it's 50 cents for 1 pound, 4/10 of a pound is less than that. I shouldn't be paying more money for less apples. That doesn't make any sense. I screwed up the decimals again. I better fix this. Now, instead of getting upset about it, I know I sound a little distraught, but I need to remember that this is a good thing, right? Thinking to yourself, checking things over, always helps, right? So now I'm thinking, what's the deal with decimals? That's right. I want to count the decimal places in each product. There is, let's see here, total of 2 decimal places here. 1, 2. There was the 50 cents. And this one was 4/10. That had 1 decimal place. Remember, I'm counting the numbers behind the decimal. So there's 2 numbers behind the decimal. That's what we call them decimal places. And this one had 1 number behind the decimal. That's 1 decimal place for a total of 3. So my answer of 200 should have 1, 2, 3 decimals in it. So there it is. It's 200 cents or something. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm going to ask myself this question. How much money is 2.200? Remember, money only goes out to the hundredths place, right? So we'd want to change around this or write it so only the hundredths place was represented, or the tenths place and the hundredths place. So it's not really 200 cents, it's really 20 cents. There we go, 20 cents for 4 pounds, 4/10 pounds. That makes more sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a long problem. Thanks for hanging in there.